Let's talk about development that happens before a person is born. The egg is fertilized in the oviduct and travels to the uterus. During this time, the egg divides, and by the time it reaches the lining of the uterus, it has become a hollow ball of cells called a blastocyst. The blastocyst embeds itself into the uterine lining and begins the process of becoming an embryo. Cells within the blastocyst know what kinds of tissues to form into based on their location within the ball of cells. Some will become part of the developing baby, but others will become the membranes that surround the baby and part of the placenta. The baby develops in a membranous sac called the amnion, and it's filled with fluid called amniotic fluid that cushions and protects the developing fetus. The placenta is made up of tissue from both the mother and the fetus. It has a lot of villi, or finger-like projections, along the edge between the two, and there is a membrane that separates the mother's tissue from the baby's. These villi are filled with blood vessels. This allows the mother and baby to exchange oxygen, nutrients, and waste products. Pregnancy is divided up into trimesters. There are 3 trimesters, and each is about 3 months long. In the first trimester, the baby does a lot of developing. It goes from being a fertilized egg to a ball of cells. Then to an embryo, which looks a bit like a tadpole at the beginning, and finally to a fully fledged fetus, which looks a lot like a baby, but is still very small and lacks a lot of the things it would need in order to survive in the outside world. The developing embryo is very sensitive to toxins and drugs in the first trimester. In the second trimester, the baby does a lot of growing and even gets hair. Sometimes the mother can feel the baby move by the end of this trimester, but if the baby was born now, it would have a hard time keeping itself warm enough, and its lungs aren't quite ready for breathing yet. The third trimester is marked by significant brain development. Fat is deposited under the skin, and myelin, a fatty substance that insulates the nerves, is placed on many of the neurons in the brain. Protein and fat are very important to the fetus during this period. Finally, the baby is ready to be born, and that will be the topic for the next lesson. Stay awesome!